Thank you for joining us tonight. Out of appreciation for our performers, we would prefer if you turned off flash and as well as put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Thank you and enjoy.
All right, welcome everybody to our concert this evening. We have some really exciting program notes that we're going to have some of our students read to you that they wrote. So that was part of one of our first quarter projects, is to kind of prepare for this concert. So they had to do a little bit of a research project to find out more about the pieces. So for our first piece, I'm going to bring up Mark and Izzy.
Our first piece is called Overture on a Minstrel Tune, which was written by Pierre Laplante. It was inspired by Daniel Decor Emmett, who is the founder of the Virginia Minstrels. Emmett was the banjo player for the Minstrels and wrote a lot of popular music for the theater genre. He originally was a fifer in the army, and he also learned how to play the fiddle. Pierre Laplante wrote many American river songs and prairie tunes. He grew up in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and his music is played by bands everywhere around the world.
Overture on a Minstrel Tune was copyrighted in 1979 by Bourne Company in New York, New York. The song is an original song, but it is based on the tune The Boatman's Dance, written in 1843 for the Virginia Minstrels. The Boatman's Dance was originally written as a celebration for the Ohio River boatmen, Bawdy and Whitley. This piece is easily recognized by the repeated chant, "Hey ho, the boatman rows, sailing on the river on the Ohio."
During this piece, make sure to listen for the changes in tempo. When we near the end of the song, the tempo changes numerous times. We get to experience switches from 2/4 to 3/4 and 4/4 time. During that time, the trumpets take over and carry the melody until the woodwinds join in. The low brass supports the trumpets with lively undertones, and the snares keep the beat. Halfway through the piece, the music gets slower and you get to hear individual groups more in this section. We hope that you all enjoy Overture on a Minstrel Tune.
All right, before we get our next reader up here for our next piece, I want to kind of talk a little bit about this group. So this is our symphonic band, which is our what we consider our younger group, but that's not always entirely true because we have a whole array of different grades in this group, from freshmen all the way up to seniors. We also have some folks who are, you'll see in all the groups, so it's a pretty unique group. They're fantastic to have in class. They're super high-spirited. We like to joke a lot, but we get stuff done. One of the things that I'm super proud of these guys for up here is we chose some songs this year, this first concert, which is kind of a risk to choose some songs that are a little bit more difficult, but they really, really rose to the challenge as you're hearing amongst that first tune and as we kind of take it into the next tune. So super proud of them for that and rising to that challenge. For our next piece, I am going to bring up Robin Schmidt, and she's going to tell you a little bit about this next one.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. Our next song is called Endless Rainbows. It was originally composed as a commission piece in 2012 by Brian Balmages, who's an award-winning composer, conductor, performer, and producer. It was commissioned by Jeff Silke, a middle school band director in Palatine, Illinois. Though this song is beautiful, the backstory is quite tragic. The day before he was supposed to begin 8th grade, Ben Stepp tragically passed away at a family gathering held at a local pond. He was an honor roll student, a trumpet player for the band, and a Boy Scout in Troop Number 182, where he had recently been inducted into the Order of the Arrow, which is a prestigious award within the BSA community. At his funeral, a strange phenomenon occurred. A double rainbow appeared over the pond where he had passed away, which can only happen when the sun has risen and it has been raining. On the morning of August 31st, however, the sun hadn't yet risen and it was not raining, making this double rainbow very unique. Once finished, Brian Balmages named the piece for the events that had shocked the community of Palatine. Endless Rainbows was dedicated to the Walter R. Sunling Junior High School Symphonic Band, their director, Mr. Zilke, the Stepp family, and Ben Stepp and his double rainbow. Tonight, though, we are playing this song in loving memory of the students and staff of the MAP School District who have recently passed. Our beloved Aubrey Kaler, Owen Cordova, Mr. Adam Smith, Dakota Brown, and Aiden Griefe are all Merrill students and staff whose memories are immortalized in our halls. I think Mr. Balmages said it best. The piece centers on a very simple melody that continues to recur in various forms and orchestrations throughout the work. It moves from mournful to hopeful, from tragic to epic, and ultimately from darkness to light. It seeks to epitomize the endless rainbow that will forever illuminate the skies as far as the eye can see. We hope you enjoy Endless Rainbows as well as the rest of our concert tonight.
tune for this portion of the concert for symphonic band, we're actually going to bring up a special guest, Max Black, because what wouldn't be a little bit of Trans-Siberian Orchestra without an electric guitar player? Yeah. So we're going to kind of rock the house. I'm going to bring up our other readers as well. And actually, we're having Alexa come on up to read this program note. But this program note was actually written by Evan Schmitz. So we hope you enjoy this program note.
Yeah, Max!
The following piece is titled Appalachian Snowfall, composed by Paul O'Neill and Robert Kinkle, and arranged by Bob Phillips and George Meagle. Both original composers worked for the band Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Paul O'Neill was born on February 23, 1956. He lived in New York and was a producer, composer, and songwriter in Naples. His instrument of choice was the guitar. Robert Kinkle was a composer, keyboardist, orchestra arranger, and co-producer. He went to Hamilton College and worked at the Barker Planet Studios before getting his job with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Both of the arrangers are teachers. Bob Phillips is also composer and conductor, and George Meagle has directed college bands in Tennessee and Virginia for 12 years. This piece was written for and performed by the rock popular band that plays Christmas songs, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This orchestra was named after the Trans-Siberian Railroad and the harsh yet beautiful environment in Siberia. The railroad connects the people living to the rest of the world, and music connects people too. In 1998, 2 years after the band was founded, they released their second album, The Christmas Addict. It contained the song. Since the orchestra has many string players, Appalachian Snowfall was originally written to be played with string instruments. It is an arranged piece that is both driven and energetic. At the beginning, listen for the malice and cortales, a unique percussion instrument that created a magical setting while the woodwind sings. As we get further into the song, the syncopated rhythm creates an upbeat, exciting mood. The flutes, piccolos, oboes, clarinets, and saxophones have 16 notes pattern that adds the charm of the piece, and the melody is repeated many times throughout the song. The rock aspect is emphasized by the drum set and tambourine to show holiday spirit. We hope you enjoyed this piece, Appalachian Snowfall.
Jazz 2 ensemble set up here, so give us just a moment to switch over. All right, so this is our massive, and when I say massive, I mean the saxophone section, but this is our massive Jazz 2 ensemble. Believe it or not, yeah, we did have enough for 2 jazzes. I mean, this is crazy. Like when we rehearsed upstairs in our jazz lab, we call it, it does not look this spread out. So when we got on this stage for the first time, we were like, whoa. When they span almost the whole way just with saxophone. So let's talk a little bit why we have so many in this group. This is a really, really unique group in the sense that I would say almost 75%, might be a little generous, but around 75% of them are playing a secondary or even a tertiary instrument. So just a show of hands, how many of you are on the same instrument you normally play? Okay, so it's like 50%, okay, yeah. Let's see, how many of you, this is your secondary instrument that you're playing? Okay, how many of you, this is your third instrument, your tertiary instrument? How many of you, this is your first time playing this instrument in an ensemble? Oh, come on, I know there's more of you. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible, the amount of enthusiasm that we had to kind of take on a new challenge. My kind of deal was if you can get up to a 7th grade, 8th grade level in a matter of like a couple weeks, you're golden. So this is kind of like the gateway to kind of learning jazz. We also have some instruments that are non-traditional instruments in jazz, like flute and clarinet. Give you a little wave back there. Yeah. So jazz too is like, there's no limitations to it. Something else that's unique with this group, if you came to our concerts last year, you know that we didn't have a bass player with our jazz groups. And so I sat up here playing bass, which I'm a little heartbroken because I do love playing bass. However, we had lots of percussionists in our group. So we said, we're gonna give you a challenge. You're gonna learn how to read bass clef, and you're gonna play synthesizer bass. Not like dance club bass, but something that just sounds like an acoustic bass. So we have a couple of our percussionists checking out that bass line over there. So without further ado, we are going to kick off our Jazz 2 portion of the concert with Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. And this is going to feature 2 soloists. It is going to feature Austin Hotchkiss on tenor saxophone and Jackson Whited back there on trumpet. So here we go. All right, our second and last tune with our Jazz 2 ensemble is going to be a jazzy version of Green Sleeves. It's kind of in a jazz waltz, so it feels like it's in 3. And this one is going to feature Anna Wilde on alto saxophone. to our Jazz One ensemble. So again, please give us a moment to get everything situated. All right, so this is our Jazz One ensemble. So kind of one of the things that sets Jazz One apart from Jazz Two is we try to stick to standard jazz instrumentation. So saxophones considerably less, right? And then a trombone section and a trumpet section and a rhythm section. Again, we have some percussionists standing in on the bass part, so they got some experience doing that. So we're going to kick off Jazz One with a song called Here Comes Santa Claus, which y'all should be pretty familiar with, but we swungify it, as I like to say. Soloing on this one is going to be Jacob on trumpet and Brooklyn on alto saxophone. our last song for our jazz wind ensemble is going to be another familiar tune, This Christmas. Kind of like a rock slash kind of funk kind of song. And this one is going to feature on alto saxophone, Patrick Whited. One more transition for us to switch on over to our wind ensemble group. So give us a second to reset the stage for that.
American Flourish by Robert W. Smith is a very unique and patriotic piece. It was composed in 2007 for the Sterling High School Band to perform it in Washington, D.C. The composer Smith has over 600 publications in print, and he had a long association with Warner Bros. Publications and the Bowen catalog. Some of his most famous compositions are Symphony No. 1, named The Divine Comedy, Symphony No. 2, The Odyssey, and Africa, Ceremony, Song, and Ritual. Sadly, he recently passed away this year on September 21st due to complications after heart surgery, but his music masterpieces must definitely end now. When listening to the song, make sure to listen for When Johnny Comes Marching Home, passed on throughout the band, Shenandoah, played by the Woodwinds, and a little bit of Yankee Doodle by the trumpets. With the percussion and low brass keeping us marching along, and the interlacing melodies from the alto saxophone and other instruments, this piece is a beautiful representation of American culture through folk songs.
America! All right, before we bring up our next reader, unless they're already on their way, no, not yet, or readers, I should say. A little bit about our wind ensemble group here. So this is an auditioned group. So in spring each year, we post some auditions, various scales and excerpts, and then they have to put in the work and really prepare for these, and it's based all on sharing. So that's why we hear some of the more upper level repertoire in this group. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so this is another case of my grand ideas of let's like program some pretty hard stuff on this concert. So you might have heard some like flourish type things in that first piece. Just wait till the second and the third one coming up here because woodwinds are going to be going crazy. And they kind of looked at me a little bit like that too when I handed them the pieces, but they have really risen to the challenge. So our mighty woodwind section, we're going to actually bring up one of the woodwind players, but also a trombone player to introduce you to our next piece.
Our next piece is Tritch Tratch Polka, or Chit Chat Polka if you can't pronounce the name. This polka was arranged by Alfred Reed.
He was born in January of 1921, and all through his childhood, his parents exposed him to symphonic music. Alfred began learning trumpet at the age of 10 and was already playing professionally while in high school. He actually ended up enjoying composing music more than actually playing it, though.
And after a few years, he joined the Air Force during World War II. Once he was out of the military, he enrolled in Juilliard and worked as a composer for MVC and ABC. After all of that, he started conducting bands, which he spent most of his life doing.
This polka was arranged in 1998 from a waltz that was written in 1858 by Johann Strauss Jr., who was also known as the waltz king.
This piece is called the Chit Chat Polka because it's meant to be reminiscent of a little group of people exchanging news and gossip in a rush of excitement that never ends. In this piece, make sure you listen to the fun and playful melody. We hope you enjoy Chit Chat Polka.
Irish Washerwoman was composed by Leroy Anderson, who has been recounted as one of the great American masters of light orchestral music. In 1930, he earned his master's degree in music from Harvard University and served as the director of the Harvard University Band for several years. Since his death in 1975, Anderson has received countless honors and tributes, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the dedication of a street corner in his birthplace of Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is known as Leroy Anderson Square. The Irish Washerwoman is an original composition and the first of 4 movements in a larger work entitled Irish Suite. This suite, written in 1947, took Anderson only 11 days to complete and contains various traditional Irish folk tunes. Anderson was commissioned to write the piece, which he dedicated to the composer who premiered it, by the Irish Society of Boston, one of the city's oldest Irish organizations. In the beginning of the piece, pay attention to how the brisk, bouncy melody passes between the flutes and the clarinets, with a slight variation each time it comes around. Listen for the entrance of the lower woodwinds and brass, meant to mimic the sound of bagpipes, as well as their take on the melody later in the piece. Finally, listen for the swells in tempo and prepare for the end of the performance, when the tempo takes on a life of its own. Thanks, Gracie.
Thank
theory and composition at Central Michigan University, where he obtained both his bachelor and master music degrees.
This Polar Express tells the story of a young boy who needed to learn the true meaning of Christmas by hopping on a magical train that took him on an inspiring journey. This wonderful arrangement will take you on your own adventure, featuring the train whistle and moving alto sax solo. Even though this piece does not mingle with the classic hot chocolate song, we have a special treat for someone. Marin and I have paid a very special Polar Express ticket in a random program tonight.
If you receive the ticket, please come up after this final piece to receive your hot cocoa surprise. Without further ado,
Let us punch your ticket for the Polar Express.
you for coming out tonight. Have a safe travel home. And again, if you have the Polar Express ticket, come on up to the stage and we have a special prize for you. Thanks again, folks, and have a great night.